Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're diving into the world of Australian 10-cent coins. Coins that may look ordinary, but some of them can be surprisingly valuable. We'll explore which years are considered rare, which coins are sought after by collectors, and why certain 10-cent coins are worth more than their face value. From low mintage issues to fascinating minting errors, this video covers everything you need to know. Whether you recently found a 10-cent coin in your change, or you're building a coin collection, this guide will help you uncover hidden treasures. So stay with me as we take a closer look at the history, value, and rarity of Australian 10-cent coins that might be hiding in your pocket right now. First up, the legendary 1980 Australian 10-cent coin. The 1980 Australian 10-cent coin holds an interesting place in the history of Australian currency. Although it may seem like a simple, everyday coin, there's actually more to the 1980 10-cent coin than meets the eye. This coin was produced during a time when Australia's decimal currency had already been circulating for over a decade. Introduced in 1966 with the decimalisation of Australian currency, the 10-cent coin replaced the pre-decimal shilling, and its design has remained mostly unchanged since then. The reverse of the 1980 Australian 10-cent coin features the iconic lyrebird, a native Australian species known for its ornate tail and extraordinary ability to mimic sounds. The lyrebird design was created by the well-known artist Stuart Devlin, who was the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen. This elegant and intricate depiction of the lyrebird has become one of the most recognizable designs in Australian coinage. The obverse side of the 1980 10-cent coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, as was standard at the time. The portrait used on the 1980 coin is known as the second portrait, designed by Arnold Machin. This version of the Queen's portrait was used on Australian coins from 1966 until 1984. The Machin portrait is known for its calm and dignified profile, and it became a lasting image of the monarch during this period of Australian coin history. The 1980 10-cent coin was struck at a time when the Royal Australian Mint was experiencing high levels of production to meet growing demand. That year, the Mint produced a substantial number of these coins for general circulation. However, even though the mintage was high, many collectors still seek out 1,980 10-cent coins in excellent condition, especially those with minimal wear, clear details, and strong strikes. This coin is made from copper nickel, a durable alloy composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs 5.65 grams and has a diameter of 23.60 millimeters. The reeded edge of the coin helps prevent counterfeiting and adds to the overall design integrity. The combination of metal composition and size makes this coin resistant to wear and long-lasting in circulation. Now, while the 1980 10-cent coin was not produced in particularly low numbers, what makes it interesting to collectors are the small varieties and condition-based rarities that can emerge over time. Coins that have remained in uncirculated or near uncirculated condition, especially those stored properly away from the elements, tend to attract more attention from enthusiasts. Even common-year coins like this one can become desirable when they show minimal signs of wear or display minting anomalies. Some coin collectors also look out for minor differences that may appear due to the minting process. While no major varieties are officially listed for the 1980 10-cent coin, there is always the possibility of subtle errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet issues. These features can make a common coin more interesting, and in some cases, more collectible. Australian coin collectors also appreciate the historical context in which coins were minted. In 1980, Australia was going through significant economic and political changes. Coins from this era often bring a sense of nostalgia for people who lived through the time. The 10-cent coin, being a commonly used denomination, was part of everyday life and handled by millions of Australians. This emotional connection adds an extra layer of interest for those who enjoy building sets of coins from different years. For collectors who like to assemble year sets, the 1980 10-cent coin is an important piece. Many build sets of Australian decimal coins year by year, including every denomination from each year. In these sets, condition becomes key. Coins that were pulled from circulation early, or acquired directly from mint rolls, tend to retain their luster and sharp detail. These are the kinds of 1980 10-cent coins that collectors are most likely to pursue. Another point to note is that the 1980 coin continued to use the same lyrebird reverse design that was first introduced in 1966. Unlike other denominations that saw design changes over time, the 10-cent coin's reverse has remained remarkably consistent. This consistency makes it easier for collectors to spot design or die variations and to track changes in minting quality over the years. The appeal of the 1980 Australian 10-cent coin also lies in its longevity. Even today, over 4 decades later, many of these coins are still found in circulation. This speaks to the durability and practicality of Australia's coinage system. Yet, finding a 1980 10-cent coin in outstanding condition from circulation is increasingly rare. Most show the expected signs of wear, including flattened high points, dull surfaces, and slight discoloration. That's why condition becomes such an important factor when determining interest and demand among collectors. For people new to coin collecting, the 1980 10-cent coin serves as a great example of how everyday coins can become collectibles. It teaches valuable lessons about mintage, condition, design, and historical value. Collectors who start with circulated coins like the 1980 10-cent piece often go on to seek higher quality examples or even full mint sets from that year. Australian decimal coins, including the 1980 10-cent coin, are increasingly being recognized worldwide. As more international collectors begin to take interest in Australian currency, coins like this one may see a steady rise in attention. That's why holding on to coins from this period, especially well-preserved ones, could be a smart move for collectors looking toward the future. Another fascinating aspect of the 1980 Australian 10-cent coin is its role in the broader decimal coin family. Alongside coins like the 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent, 20 cent, and 50 cent pieces, the 10-cent coin filled a vital role in everyday transactions. It was small enough for convenience, but had enough value to be practical. As inflation changed the role of smaller denominations over time, the 10-cent coin remained relevant and in active use. When you look at this coin today, it's not just a piece of metal. It's a snapshot of Australian history, economics, and design. From the Queen's profile to the lyrebird's flowing feathers, every detail reflects craftsmanship and intention. Coins like the 1980 10-cent piece allow us to hold a bit of the past in our hands and appreciate how money connects us to national identity, heritage, and daily life. Even if you only have one 1980 Australian 10-cent coin, it's worth taking a closer look at it. Observe the fine details of the design. Check the condition. Ask yourself how it compares to coins of other years. This kind of curiosity is what turns everyday change into a lifelong collecting journey. And the more you learn about coins like the 1980 10-cent, the more you'll appreciate the stories they tell. Next up, the iconic 1982 Australian 10-cent coin. The 1982 Australian 10-cent coin is part of a fascinating era in Australian numismatics. While it might appear to be just another everyday coin, the 1982 issue holds its own importance in the timeline of decimal coinage. Introduced in 1966 during Australia's switch to decimal currency, the 10-cent coin replaced the old shilling, carrying with it not only economic significance, but also a design that has stood the test of time. The lyrebird featured on the reverse remains one of the most iconic images on any Australian coin. The 1982 coin continues this tradition with the detailed lyrebird design created by Stuart Devlin, the official goldsmith and jeweler to Queen Elizabeth II. The image showcases the lyrebird's elegant tail feathers, carefully curved and arranged, which make this coin instantly recognizable to collectors and casual observers alike. This design has remained largely unchanged for decades, giving the 10-cent coin consistency and familiarity. On the obverse side, the 1982 coin features the second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This effigy was used on Australian coins from 1966 through 1984 and presents the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. It's a portrait known for its poise and simplicity, reflecting the period's regal image, while also being widely appreciated for its clean lines and refined presentation. The 1982 Australian 10-cent coin was minted in large numbers to meet circulation demands, reflecting a strong and growing economy. Although the mintage was high, the quality of individual coins varied depending on the handling and storage after production. As a result, collectors today often look for coins from 1982 in high-grade condition, seeking examples that show minimal wear, clear details, and a bright surface with natural luster. Coins from 1982 were struck using copper nickel, a durable and corrosion-resistant alloy made up of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This material was chosen for its resilience, and it has proven to be effective in helping coins stay in circulation for decades. The coin has a mass of 5.65 grams and a diameter of 23.60 millimeters, with a milled edge, which also adds a subtle design element and prevents counterfeiting. Though the 1982 10-cent coin was not a low mintage release, it still holds interest among collectors for a number of reasons. First, it represents an important part of a complete year set for 1982. Collectors aiming to complete their Australian decimal coin collections by year include coins like the 10-cent piece as a crucial component. Second, it offers a chance to examine the consistency in minting quality and design across different production years. One of the intriguing aspects of collecting coins like the 1982 10-cent is the possibility of finding minting anomalies or small die variations. While no major errors are officially recorded for this specific year, coin enthusiasts often keep an eye out for subtle differences such as doubling of details, die cracks, or misalignments that can occur during the minting process. These small features can make a standard coin more appealing and even more valuable to certain collectors. Another point of interest is the coin's condition. Coins that have remained in circulation for over 40 years tend to show signs of wear. However, those that have been preserved in collections, found in mint rolls, or stored carefully over the years tend to be much more desirable. Luster, detail in the lyrebird's feathers, and a crisp edge are all qualities that collectors prioritize when selecting a 1982 10-cent coin for their collection. Collectors and hobbyists often enjoy researching the historical background of the coins they collect. In 1982, Australia was experiencing economic shifts, international trade developments, and changing political landscapes. Coins from that year serve as a small yet meaningful connection to the era. They circulated during important moments in Australian life, from everyday purchases at local shops to transactions across state lines. Holding a coin from 1982 is like holding a small piece of that national experience. The importance of year-specific coins is also highlighted by their role in education. Many coin collectors use coins like the 1982 10-cent to introduce others to the hobby. It's an accessible coin that helps explain topics such as minting processes, where grades, metal composition, and historical context. It becomes more than just a piece of currency. It's a tool for learning and appreciating the details behind the coins we use every day. Although the coin doesn't carry a rare label, that doesn't take away from its appeal. Common coins in exceptional condition are just as sought after in many cases as scarce coins with average wear. The challenge of finding a near-pristine 1982 10-cent coin makes the search enjoyable and rewarding. Coin rolls, estate sales, and even personal collections can occasionally turn up surprisingly well-preserved examples. Collectors also appreciate how coins from the early 1980s mark the tail end of the Mackin portrait series on the obverse. In 1985, the portrait was changed, which makes the 1982 coin one of the final years to feature this long-used effigy. For collectors building themed or portrait-based collections, the 1982 coin is part of that narrative. As interest in Australian decimal coins continues to grow globally, coins like the 1982 10-cent are getting more attention not just within Australia, but also among collectors worldwide. These coins are increasingly seen as valuable historical items, not just spare change. With consistent demand for Australian coins in online marketplaces and coin shows, even common-date coins in good condition are finding new homes with passionate collectors. It's always worth checking old coin jars, drawers, and change from everyday purchases. The 1982 10-cent coin may still be out there in circulation, but examples in better-than-average condition are becoming harder to find. This is especially true for coins that haven't been cleaned or damaged, as natural surface condition is a big factor in collector interest. What makes the 1982 Australian 10-cent coin truly special is how it captures the essence of its time. The design hasn't changed in over 50 years, yet every coin tells a different story. Whether it's the way it has aged, the conditions it endured, or how it has been stored, each 1982 coin is a unique piece of Australian history. Even the smallest coins can have the biggest impact when it comes to telling the story of a nation's currency. When you hold a 1982 10-cent coin in your hand, you're holding more than metal. You're holding a connection to Australia's economic and cultural journey. For anyone looking to expand their coin knowledge or collection, Paying close attention to coins like this one can open doors to new areas of exploration, appreciation, and discovery. So, whether you're an experienced collector or someone just starting out, take a moment to study the 1982 10-cent coin. Look closely at its design, feel its weight, and think about how many hands it may have passed through. There's a story behind every coin, and the 1982 issue is no exception. Its place in Australian coinage is secure, and its continued presence in circulation is a testament to its lasting utility and importance. Next up, the 1983 Australian 10-cent coin. The 1983 Australian 10-cent coin is a fascinating piece of decimal currency that continues to attract attention from collectors and coin enthusiasts. While it may seem like just another standard coin at first glance, the 1983 10-cent coin carries more historical and collector significance than most people realize. As part of the long-running series of Australian 10-cent coins, this specific year offers unique aspects in terms of design continuity, production background, and collectible interest. The coin features the iconic lyrebird on the reverse, a design that has become a hallmark of the 10-cent denomination since decimal currency was introduced in Australia in 1966. The lyrebird, native to Australia, is known for its elaborate tail feathers and impressive ability to mimic sounds. The image of the bird was designed by Stuart Devlin, a master designer who left a lasting legacy on Australian coins. His work on the 10-cent coin has remained largely unchanged since its first release, and the 1983 coin is a continuation of that enduring design. On the obverse side of the 1983 10-cent coin, we see the second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This was the Arnold Machin effigy, which had been in use on Australian coins since 1966 and continued until 1984. In this portrait, the Queen is shown wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and it is widely appreciated for its simplicity, elegance, and clarity. Coins bearing the Machin portrait are often sought by collectors who focus on portrait changes or who build collections based on eras. The 1983 10-cent coin was struck using copper nickel, an alloy made from 75% copper and 25% nickel. This combination of metals gives the coin its silvery appearance and high durability, allowing it to circulate for decades without severe wear. The coin weighs 5.65 grams and measures 23.60 millimeters in diameter. It also features a milled edge, adding another layer of anti-counterfeit protection and texture. One of the key aspects that makes the 1983 Australian 10-cent coin interesting to collectors is its place in the broader series. While it was a high mintage year, coins from 1983 are now over 4 decades old, and finding them in top condition is becoming more difficult with each passing year. Most examples found in circulation show signs of wear, including worn feathers on the lyrebird, faded rim detail, and dull surfaces. Collectors who specialize in condition-focused collections often search for 1983 10-cent coins that display strong detail and minimal handling. There are no officially documented major errors for the 1983 10-cent coin, but that doesn't mean there's no room for collector excitement. Minor minting flaws such as die cracks, planchet issues, or off-center strikes may exist in smaller numbers. Coins with these subtle errors are often collected not only for their uniqueness, but also for their representation of how coins were struck at the Royal Australian Mint during that time. The Royal Australian Mint was under consistent pressure during the 1980s to meet the growing coin demand from a growing economy. As a result, millions of 10-cent coins were minted in 1983. Despite the large production run, not all coins came out identical in quality. Some show softer strikes or slight imperfections, all of which can matter to experienced collectors. The hunt for a perfect example from this year is part of what makes collecting fun. As is often the case with common year coins, the real value lies in condition. Coins that have remained in uncirculated or near uncirculated condition for 40 years become harder to find and more desirable to collectors. Coins stored in mint rolls or private collections are often the best candidates for those looking to build a strong year-specific collection. The 1983 10-cent coin, when found in such condition, can be an excellent addition to both beginner and advanced collections. For those who collect by year, the 1983 10-cent coin is an essential part of completing an Australian decimal coin set. This means that people who aim to collect every denomination from each year, including 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, 20-cent, and 50-cent coins always include the 1983 10-cent piece in their checklist. Its importance in that lineup makes it a necessary piece for any year-based collection. Australian coins from the 1980s have also started gaining more international interest. As collectors around the world seek out complete collections of Commonwealth and Australian coins, coins like the 1983 10-cent are finding new audiences overseas. This increased attention from global markets may lead to higher demand, especially for coins in top condition or with unique features. The 1983 10-cent coin also helps tell the story of a nation's development. Australia in the early 1980s was going through shifts in government policy, international trade, and national identity. Coins like this were part of the everyday lives of Australians, handed over at shops, used in payphones, and kept in pockets across the country. Holding a coin from this year is a reminder of the everyday transactions and personal stories that define an era. Collectors often look to coins like the 1983 10-cent piece to connect with personal or family history. People who grew up in the 1980s might remember using these coins daily, which adds emotional and nostalgic value to an otherwise common coin. This emotional layer can sometimes be just as important as the physical condition when it comes to how much collectors value a specific year or coin. Some hobbyists specialize in collecting coins from every year of a monarch's reign. Since Queen Elizabeth II's portrait appears on the 1983 coin, it fits neatly into collections focused on the various designs and milestones under her rule. This makes the coin not just part of Australian currency history, but also a small part of a global royal legacy. Over time, coins like the 1983 10-cent piece become harder to find in good shape. While millions may have been minted, many have been lost, damaged, or heavily worn through decades of use. Those that remain in better condition become increasingly collectible as their numbers diminish. That's why it's important to keep an eye out for coins that show strong detail, natural shine, and no signs of harsh cleaning or corrosion. People new to collecting often start by looking through old change, family coin jars, or inherited collections. The 1983 10-cent coin is one of those pieces that often shows up and becomes a gateway into deeper interest. Learning to evaluate it, compare it to other years, and understand its features is a great way to get started with Australian decimal coins. Even though it doesn't have a special variety or low mintage, the 1983 10-cent coin teaches important collecting principles. It encourages attention to detail, appreciation for design, and respect for the minting process. These are qualities that carry over into more advanced collecting and help people build valuable skills as numismatists. The more time collectors spend examining coins like this one, the more they learn to spot subtle features. Whether it's the alignment of the obverse and reverse, the sharpness of the lettering, or the condition of the edge milling, every detail contributes to the overall appeal of a coin. The 1983 10-cent piece offers all of these aspects in a single, affordable, and widely available coin. It's easy to overlook everyday coins, especially those from high mintage years. But with time, patience, and a collector's eye, even a coin like the 1983 10-cent can become a meaningful part of a carefully curated collection. As with all coins, rarity is only part of the story. Condition, context, and consistency are equally important. So, for anyone interested in Australian decimal coinage, the 1983 10-cent coin is definitely one to pay attention to. Whether it's found in a handful of old coins or purchased as part of a complete year set, it plays a key role in the long and continuing story of Australia's modern currency. Next up, the 1998 Australian 10-cent coin. The 1998 Australian 10-cent coin might seem like just another ordinary coin from your pocket change. But for coin collectors and enthusiasts, it's a piece worth looking at closely. Even though it's not considered rare in terms of mintage numbers, it holds an important place in Australia's decimal coin history. Its design, metal composition, production background, and relevance to modern collectors make it more than just a simple piece of currency. This coin continues the legacy of the 10-cent piece first introduced in 1966, when Australia shifted from pre-decimal to decimal currency. Since then, the 10-cent coin has featured the same beautiful reverse design, the superbly detailed lyrebird, which has become iconic in Australian coinage. The lyrebird is one of Australia's most fascinating native species, known for its long, ornate tail feathers and its ability to mimic sounds. Designed by the legendary Stuart Devlin, The lyrebird has graced the reverse of every 10-cent coin for decades, and the 1998 issue is no exception. Turning to the obverse side of the 1998 10-cent coin, it features the third official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Raphael Maklauf. This portrait replaced the Arnold Machin design used in earlier years and was introduced in 1985. The Maklauf effigy shows the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, and it's known for its regal and more detailed appearance compared to earlier depictions. This portrait was used on Australian coins from 1985 to 1998, making this year one of the final appearances of the Maklauf design on the 10-cent coin before it was replaced in the following year. The 1998 Australian 10-cent coin was minted in copper nickel, a durable and corrosion-resistant alloy made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin weighs 5.65 grams and has a diameter of 23.60 millimeters. It also has a milled edge, a feature that serves both aesthetic and anti-counterfeiting purposes. These specifications have remained consistent throughout the coin's history, which makes it easier for collectors to compare year-to-year production quality and strike clarity. In 1998, the Royal Australian Mint produced a large number of 10-cent coins for circulation. While not considered a low mintage year, the condition of individual coins makes a significant difference in collector value. Coins from 1998 that show little to no wear, with sharp details on both the Queen's portrait and the lyrebird design, are the ones most sought after. Over time, circulation causes noticeable wear, especially on the fine feather details of the lyrebird and the crown and hairline of the Queen's effigy. As such, examples in uncirculated or near uncirculated condition are increasingly harder to come by. Even in common mintage years like 1998, collectors are always on the lookout for unique features or minting anomalies. While no major errors are officially recorded for the 1998 10-cent coin, collectors sometimes come across minor die cracks, off-center strikes, or planchet imperfections. These errors, though not widespread, can make a coin more collectible and appealing to those who enjoy searching for variations. They add another layer of intrigue to an otherwise standard year. The year 1998 is also notable because it was a transitional period in the broader landscape of Australian coins. The following year, 1999, would see the introduction of the Ian Rank Broadley portrait of the Queen, marking a significant change in the obverse design across all Australian coin denominations. That makes 1998 the final full year for the Raphael Maklauf portrait on the 10-cent coin, giving it historical significance within the portrait timeline. Collectors who focus on portrait changes or build sets based on effigies often view the 1998 coin as a milestone year. Another reason to pay attention to the 1998 Australian 10-cent coin is its role in complete year sets. For many collectors, assembling a full year set of Australian coins is a popular goal. These sets typically include the 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, 20 cent, 50 cent, $1 and $2 coins from the same year. For the year 1998, the 10-cent coin is essential to completing that collection. When building a full-year set, collectors prefer examples in high grade, making pristine 1998 10-cent coins particularly valuable in that context. Coins are also important reflections of the economic conditions in which they were circulated. In 1998, Australia's economy was relatively stable, with a focus on modernization, international trade, and financial reforms. Coins minted during this time were used in millions of everyday transactions, from grocery stores to gas stations. That means each 1998 10-cent coin has its own silent story, one that links it to the daily lives of Australians at the end of the 20th century. Many collectors are also drawn to coins from the late 1990s because of their age. While not ancient, coins from this period are now over 25 years old, which makes high-quality examples harder to find. Circulated coins typically show signs of handling, such as scratches, discoloration, and worn edges. Coins that have been stored in a drawer, collection album, or mint roll can still retain sharp detail and clean surfaces, which are prized by collectors today. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1998 10-cent coin in excellent condition, take the time to examine its details. Look closely at the lyrebird's tail feathers. Check the rim and the edge for clean strikes. On the obverse, look at the Queen's profile, the neckline, the diadem, and the sharpness of the lettering around the edge. These are all indicators of a coin's condition and its potential appeal in the collecting community. For beginner collectors, the 1998 Australian 10-cent coin is an accessible and educational piece. It teaches you about portrait transitions, metal composition, strike quality, and the history of Australia's decimal coinage. For seasoned collectors, it serves as a key year in the portrait timeline and can round out both circulated and uncirculated collections. Coins from this period also represent the end of an era. By 1999, Australia had entered a new chapter in coin design, with subtle changes that affected how future coins would look and feel. That makes coins like the 1998 10-cent piece a symbol of transition. It's the last in a long run of coins that featured the Maklauf portrait and marks the closing of one chapter in Australia's numismatic story. Because this coin is still occasionally found in circulation, especially in Australia, it offers collectors a chance to hunt down well-preserved examples in real-world conditions. That thrill of discovery is part of what makes coin collecting such a rewarding hobby. Whether you find one in your change or pick one up at a coin fair, the 1998 10-cent coin remains a relevant and collectible piece even decades after it was first struck. It's important to note that while the coin is common overall, its scarcity increases significantly when you filter by quality. Finding a mint state or near-mint 1998 10-cent coin is far less common than simply finding one with heavy wear. Collectors often pay more attention to surface condition, strike clarity, and edge quality than just the mintage figure. So whether you collect coins by year, portrait, metal type, or just for the love of Australian history, the 1998 10-cent coin has something to offer. It's not just about rarity, it's about significance, design continuity, and preservation. This coin stands as a final tribute to the Raphael Maklauf era and remains a vital part of Australia's decimal coin series. Even though it's a coin that many may overlook, those who know what to look for, condition, detail, and historical context, can appreciate its true value in a collection. Every collector, new or experienced, should take the time to examine and understand coins like the 1998 Australian 10-cent piece. Its story, its design, and its place in the timeline of Australian currency make it more than just a coin. It's a tangible piece of history worth holding on to. Now, we'll explore the rare 2003 Australian 10-cent coin. The 2003 Australian 10-cent coin is an interesting and important piece in Australia's decimal coinage history. Though it may appear common at first glance, this coin offers more than just face value. Its design, minting background, and relevance in coin collections make it a worthwhile focus for collectors, hobbyists, and anyone curious about Australian currency. As part of the long-running 10-cent coin series, the 2003 issue stands out for several reasons, including its design continuity, obverse portrait, circulation background, and collectible interest. The 10-cent coin in Australia has maintained the same reverse design since the introduction of decimal currency in 1966. It features the iconic lyrebird, an Australian native species known for its beautiful, ornate tail feathers and its remarkable ability to mimic sounds. This lyrebird design was created by the highly respected artist Stuart Devlin, who left a permanent mark on Australian numismatics. The 2003 coin continues to showcase this striking reverse image, which remains one of the most recognizable and elegant designs in Australian coinage. On the obverse side of the 2003 10-cent coin, we see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait was first introduced in 1999 and became the fourth official effigy of the Queen used on Australian coins. The Rank Broadley design is known for its more realistic representation, depicting the Queen with a mature appearance and a sense of dignity and strength. It was a shift away from the more idealized earlier portraits and aimed to reflect the Queen's age at the time more accurately. For collectors who focus on obverse portrait changes, the 2003 coin represents a continuation of this more contemporary image. The 2003 10-cent coin is struck in copper nickel, a durable and corrosion-resistant metal alloy composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin weighs 5.65 grams and measures 23.60 millimeters in diameter. It features a milled edge, which adds texture and also serves as a measure against counterfeiting. These specifications have remained consistent throughout the 10-cent coin's history, offering a standardized format for collectors to compare coins from different years in terms of strike quality and condition. In 2003, the Royal Australian Mint produced millions of 10-cent coins to meet national circulation needs. While the mintage numbers were not exceptionally low, coins from this year are still collected and analyzed by numismatists who look for superior condition examples or subtle differences that make a coin stand out. As always, the condition of a coin greatly influences its appeal. Collectors tend to seek out coins that show minimal wear, full luster, and sharp detailing on both the obverse and reverse. Even though the 2003 10-cent coin is considered a standard circulation issue, it still holds collectible interest, particularly in high grades. Coins that have not been circulated, or that show only the faintest signs of handling, are much harder to find, especially after 2 decades. Many of the 2003 10-cent coins currently in circulation will show clear signs of wear. Flattened high points on the Queen's portrait, softened lines on the lyrebird's feathers, and small marks or scratches from daily use. For collectors building full-year sets or assembling type sets, finding a 2003 coin in top condition is a rewarding challenge. Collectors also look for minting errors and anomalies. While there are no widely known major errors for the 2003 10-cent coin, minor die cracks, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws are always possible. Coins with such features are often found through detailed inspection and sometimes turn up in circulation or in coin rolls. These small but noticeable imperfections can make an otherwise ordinary coin more appealing and add depth to a collection. The 2003 coin also serves as an important piece for collectors who assemble year sets. A year set includes every denomination produced for general circulation in a single year, from the 5-cent to the $2 coin. For 2003, the 10-cent coin is a necessary part of completing that set. People who collect coins year by year understand the significance of every denomination, even in high mintage years. Each one represents a snapshot of Australia's coinage during that year and serves as a record of the country's economic and cultural story. Australia in 2003 was moving forward with economic growth, modernization, and increasing engagement with global trade. Coins minted during this time circulated widely across the country, touching millions of hands and being used in countless transactions. The 10-cent coin played a functional role in daily commerce, but it also served as a quiet representative of national identity, displaying a native Australian animal and the image of the reigning monarch. Coins like the 2003 10-cent piece tell the story of everyday life in Australia at the start of the 21st century. Many collectors today are turning their attention to coins from the early 2000s. These coins, now over 20 years old, are starting to become harder to find in excellent condition. As time goes on, circulated examples continue to show more wear, and uncirculated pieces become more desirable. Coin enthusiasts often revisit common years like 2003 to search for high-grade examples, untouched coins from mint rolls, or uncirculated coins found in forgotten collections. Another aspect of interest is the longevity of the 10-cent coin's design. The fact that the reverse design has remained unchanged since 1966 makes it an interesting subject for comparison. Collectors often line up coins from different years side by side to observe how strike quality, detail sharpness, and finish have varied over time. Even within standard design years, differences in die wear, production quality, and metal finish can provide insights into the minting standards of that era. The 2003 10-cent coin also has a place in international collections. As collectors around the world become more interested in Australian currency, coins from the early 2000s are receiving more global attention. International buyers who collect Commonwealth coins or focus on coins with Queen Elizabeth II portraits frequently include coins like the 2003 issue in their collections. This cross-border interest only adds to the long-term appeal of Australian decimal coins. If you come across a 2003 Australian 10-cent coin, take a moment to examine it closely. Check the Queen's portrait for detail in the hair, crown, and lettering. On the reverse, look at the fine lines in the lyrebird's feathers and tail. Observe the rim, the edge, and the overall surface condition. These small details can tell you a lot about the coin's history, how it was stored, and whether it might be worth adding to your collection. For those just beginning their journey into coin collecting, the 2003 10-cent coin offers a great opportunity to learn about metal composition, portrait transitions, design longevity, and Australian minting history. For experienced collectors, this coin represents a familiar yet essential part of the decimal series and a valuable addition to year sets or portrait collections. Even though the 2003 10-cent coin is still relatively easy to find, Its condition and quality make all the difference. Coins that have survived in pristine condition are becoming more difficult to locate as years go by. That's why now is a good time to search your change, explore coin rolls, or revisit older collections to see if a high-grade example is hiding among the more worn coins. With every passing year, coins like the 2003 10-cent piece gain more attention. Whether you focus on coin design, Australian history, or just enjoy the thrill of discovering unique and well-preserved pieces, this coin is well worth a second look. It may not be rare in numbers, but it carries historical and numismatic significance that continues to grow over time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the history, design, and hidden value of Australian 10-cent coins, don't forget to give this video a like and share it with other coin lovers. Drop a comment below if you've come across any interesting 10-cent coins in your collection or pocket change, especially from rare years or with unique features. Make sure to subscribe for more videos on Australian coins, rare finds, and coin collecting tips. We've got lots more content coming up on valuable decimal coins, collectible years, and everything you need to know about Australian currency. Hit the bell so you don't miss future videos about other Australian coins like the 1 cent, 2 cent, 20 cent, and 50 cent coins. Thanks again for watching, and keep checking your change. You never know what hidden treasure you might find.